5, 4, 3, 2.
Tier 1 performance.
Welcome back, guys, to the In and Out Talks podcast, powered by Tier 1 Performance. Your host, Mitch Matulia here. Today's special guest is a personal friend of mine, Dareen Al-Sharif. She is a nutrition expert where she specializes with lifestyle and athletes. So, guys, stay tuned. There's going to be a ton of great information you can take away from this one. Dareen, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me, and also thank you for working out with me today.
Yeah, for those viewers out there, she kicked my butt at the gym this morning. We got out of our comfort zone, at least I did, and we did a hybrid style training for high rock style training. And yeah, I was the running was not ready for that.
We didn't even sign up for the hybrid class. We went for the strength, and there was like that part of cardio.
Yes.
But you felt like it was a good endurance.
It was a great endurance session, and like, of course, we're all about getting out of the comfort zone at Tier 1 and trying new things out and struggling and overcoming. So that's what it's all about.
We're here for it.
And so, Dareen, just a little bit about yourself for our viewers out there. I mean, like, where are you from, and what was your upbringing like, and how'd you get into nutrition?
So I was born and raised in Saudi Arabia. It was a very slow life. I didn't play sports before, and also I was an overweight kid. So when I was young, I'm like, hey, I want to be confident and I want to wear clothes from the mall like the neighbors and, people around me. So that's when I decided I wanted to explore like more of the fitness. So I started walking, but I didn't have access to the gym back then. I was still able to lose like around 40 pounds, but I lost it the wrong way, just overdoing cardio mainly.
Understood.
You see? And when I was a teenager, that's when it was a very good thing to build some muscle. And I was like, okay, I want to learn more.
Correct.
So I decided to study nutrition and dietetics in Jordan, where I'm from. And that was a game changer for me.
That's so awesome. And so what sparked your interest? Was it just like, hey, I guess, how did you gain information as a kid? Like, were you watching YouTube videos?
Yeah.
Or were you kind of just going, like, winging it? Like, I mean, how...
Literally winging it, honestly. I remember the first set of dumbbells that I got was when I was 16, probably. But I started walking and losing weight when I was around 14. So it took me a couple of years before I'm like, okay, let me buy a set of dumbbells, try it out. There was no structure there.
Yes.
And that is what I needed. I needed answers.
Absolutely. And so going to college in Jordan, what was that experience like for you?
It was pretty great. I had really great professors over there, and that's when I started officially working out or doing strength training. That's when I started eating more protein.
Yes.
So I was gaining knowledge, I was gaining experience, and it was really great start. With every year, I was learning more and more, but I got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I need like fitness background. So I took my personal training certificate just as a background in nutrition. And that even helped me like layer it up and to understand how nutrition and fitness can come together to give results.
100%. And so in Saudi Arabia and Jordan, are sports in general, I know you weren't really into sports growing up.
Yeah.
Are sports pretty prevalent in those countries now?
Oh, what sports are prevalent? Mainly it would be soccer in between Saudi Arabia and Jordan, and then horseback riding is a thing in Jordan.
Let's go.
Yeah.
In the desert? Like, I mean...
Like Jordan is not too much of a desert unless you go to Wadi Rum really for a trip. That's where people like to ride camels, go on like buggies. But no, it would be like in a farm. There would be a huge space. Yeah, like Jordan is mainly green actually.
Wow.
So that is the main thing. In Saudi Arabia, they love also like car sports.
Like motocross or like any kind of like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's really big events that they do over there in Saudi Arabia, and a lot of people travel for that. I'm not sure about the names of them, but yeah. Also, basketball was a thing. So it wasn't a big thing like in the United States, but like young people were interested in playing basketball.
Really?
So for a little bit, like I went to the American school in Saudi Arabia, and played on the weekend with my friends, but it was nothing too serious. It was just like, shooting here and there.
Yes. And so upon graduating from university, I mean, like, what were your goals? Like, what transpired from that?
Like career-wise or
Yeah.
fitness-wise?
Both.
Honestly, like I was learning it as I'm going through it. That's the biggest thing. All I knew is I wanted to understand my body, and then it became something that I want to help other people, help my family, help my friends. There's a lot of misconceptions that I saw around me in the Middle East. Like when I wanted to lose weight, I didn't find the support or the knowledge available back then.
Right.
In the Middle East, mainly they focus on fiber and fruits and vegetables, but I wasn't given like, hey, protein is important. So when I moved to the United States, I saw everybody knows pretty well we need protein. Everyone's big on protein.
You probably noticed a lot bigger people here too.
Yeah, there's bigger portions, more calories. But I think if we bring those two together, high fiber, high protein, like that is pretty amazing.
That's the key. Right?
That is the key. Yep.
And what year did you move to the United States?
It was end of 2022 after Hazem and I got married.
Yes. I love Hazem. He's an amazing guy. Amazing husband. And I had the fortunate, I met you probably like not long after that, right?
Literally, yeah. We were in the same interview and I had zero experience in the United States, I remember.
I remember meeting you that day though and just was like, man, like she's got a great vibe. I know she's very, very smart.
I appreciate
very
you.
knowledgeable. And like, so I'm super happy that we got to work together as well.
I don't know if you remember the funny story. So it was me, you, and there was another guy who's also an athlete. And when you guys brought up your background, I'm like, I'm screwed. I didn't play sports before and all of that, but it was a great one for all of us to connect, and
Yes.
we're friends.
I know. And then you started working at a supplement store, correct?
Yeah, when I first moved to the United States, especially after that interview, I wasn't accepted yet, so I started working in a supplement store.
Yes.
So we were actually like doing an in-body scan, some nutrition recommendations, then we give supplement recommendation.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was a pretty good experience for a couple of months. When that company decided to close down in Houston,
Yes.
that's when they recommended me to go to the meal prep company I work for today, MyFitFoods.
Yes, ma'am. And that is where you built so many great relationships and have started working with lifestyle clients and athletes alike. And so, Dareen, my question for you is, I mean, there's lots of misconceptions about nutrition out there, right? There's a lot of what I call yo-yo diets, right? There's fasting, there's keto. I think there's just a lot of information, and people, I just want you to inform them on like what they should do based on what their goals are. And so what's your opinion on like keto, on fasting, any takes on those things?
The biggest thing is some people would go based on the advice they see on social media, what diet is trending. But you have to understand your body first. So I can't give like a general recommendation to a group of people and tell them, hey, this is what we need if you want to like lose weight or gain muscle as a general thing.
I see.
I have to understand exactly what's going on in their body. Like, let's say, for example, when talking to men, I'd love to know, like, for example, what kind of training they're doing, if they're doing any, and like, their weight history. So if they do have a goal of getting to a specific weight, okay, when were you at that weight before, to set clear expectations, if it makes sense, when we can hit that goal. And then from there, I map out their day based on the level of training they have, or even the level of activity they have. Some people work like a, what is it called, a desk job?
Yes.
Right? Not getting enough steps, so we have to be more intentional on movement now. We might change a little bit in the macros. So I wouldn't go and suddenly tell someone, hey, you can all follow this recommendation, this diet. Any diet that takes away a food group would be a fad diet. That means like that will have consequences.
Agreed.
Health consequences.
Agreed. And I think that, like you mentioned, you hit the nail on the head, like by saying there is no one size fits all, right?
True, yeah.
Now, I'm going to give you... I'm just going to give you some hypothetical situations, and you let me know what diet I should follow, or like what
that
things.
Situation?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm a performance athlete.
Okay.
I enjoy working out. I'm trying to put on muscle, lose body fat,
Okay.
but also gain endurance. I've had people tell me in the past to stay away from carbs. But as a performance athlete, what do you recommend? How should I eat?
Biggest focus for athletes, let's say, is performance. But he also has a personal goal where he wants to recomp, as in gain muscle mass and burn body fat. So if you take the carbs out or you go low carb, you're going to affect performance. Not just that, that will also affect the body composition goal that we have.
Yes.
Sometimes, like a lot of people will plateau when they go on low carb diets because in general, they're going also on low calorie diet.
Yes.
And they end up telling me, okay, like I can go with 2 meals a day, 1 meal a day. And I'm like, that's not going to work, especially for athletes. I know they're busy and I know they have some goals to crush, but the biggest thing is we need to get enough of what the body needs first. So what I would go around that is, again, map out their day, see how their training is like, and fuel them based on that. So one of the most important thing for athletes is knowing what sources of carbs they need to break that misconception.
That was my next question. What kind of carbs should I be eating?
So before the workout, we need to get like simple carbs because that will give you the glucose, which gives you like fast energy. So that will help with performance. The goal here is to help you with speed, helps you perform. For a lot of, for example, baseball athletes, they want to hit, they want the speed part. So that is important to have simple carbs before, right? For the intra-workout also, we want to make sure that we're not using our glycogen, which is our muscle, or deplete our glycogen. That's why we do pre-workout carbs and intra-workout carbs. As an example, something like simplified banana, having a fruit, or you can have, for example, like oatmeal an hour before. That's one of the things I've seen athletes enjoy a lot because it gives them like longer energy.
So what's the main difference between simple versus complex? And can you give some good examples?
Definitely.
Along with fruit, of course.
Actually, like fruits are considered simple carbs.
Yes.
And like oatmeal or oats in general is going to be complex carbs. So complex carbs takes time to be digested, a little bit longer than simple carbs, right? And it will have a little bit more fiber.
Understood.
So that's something I would do, like complex carb, maybe an hour and a half before the workout. As in for a simple, that's something you can have the 30 minutes before. And it's usually in snacks such as granola bars, right? So if someone wants to take an easy like thing before their workout, would we pick protein bar or granola bar? I would go with the granola bar because that will have more simple carbs for them. Easy to digest, won't be sitting there. The protein bar will take more time.
So with simple carbs, essentially you can use that for energy right away, within 30 to 45 minutes after ingesting.
Correct. Yeah.
And so if you're a morning workout goer,
Yeah.
you highly recommend simple carbs before a workout.
Definitely, especially if the goal here is performance. I know some people who are just training to gain muscle or lose body fat might be used to doing it fasted.
Yes.
If that works for them, that's pretty good. But if you want performance or we have an athlete, we gotta fuel before the workout.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Now I'm going to give you another hypothetical.
Give it
Say
to me.
I am a mother of 3. I
Okay.
work a lot, like 70 hours a week.
Yep.
Okay. I have time to go to the gym maybe 3 days a week. Any recommendation on how that person would be eating or could eat to I guess, again,
Yeah.
body recomp, gain muscle,
Definitely.
lose body fat.
Also recomp.
Yeah.
So we want to know their level of activity. We said 3 days a week. We want to see how their movement is like. And now when it comes to figure out what they need macros wise, we can basically estimate that based on their BMR and activity level. After that, it's very important when we give those recommendations to let them know we want to see how that's going to work for you the first week. It's not like it's one fit all. This is the numbers.
Yes.
This is the options. No, I want to see how that works for you because that's where actually we're able to tweak it or do some adjustments based on their needs. Not
Understood.
everybody can digest everything equally, for example, right? Some people don't know what are the things that gets them bloated, what certain foods basically make them feel that way. So this is why I wouldn't go just tell everybody do dairy-free, do gluten-free.
Right.
Or like cut carbs out, because if you do cut carbs out, this can also affect your glands. So we don't want to go that route and say, hey, keto works, let's do it.
So you're of the belief system that the human body needs proteins, carbohydrates, fats. You should never cut any one of those out completely from your diet, correct?
100%.
Yes.
100%. The balance of all of them is important. Protein is the building block for our body. And then you have carbs. It's important for performance, and it's the number one fuel for our brain. It's pretty important for all of us, right?
Yes.
Healthy fats. A lot of people would go, especially for females, go with like low fat diet, but that's important for our hormonal balance.
Yes.
And I was reading a book the other day and it opened my eyes. A lot of diets honestly do not focus on a female's body, right? And a female's needs.
Correct.
And you would hear a lot about like hormonal imbalance, but why is that happening? Yes, cortisol and stress is the number one thing nowadays, but also not getting enough nutrients. So if we actually like balance your carbs, protein, and fats based on what you need, that will be all good. We'll be able to work on the hormonal balance. We'll be able to lose body fat, gain muscle mass, and go from there.
Yes.
But the key is to make sure that your hormones are in place.
I love that. And so as a prerequisite, so for example, working with yourself or somebody like you, that's a nutrition expert, would you recommend that they start with lab work and an in-body scan to see what all their numbers are at, so then you can use that information to then guide them?
So let's say, for example, we work with someone and the first week we get to see results, there's no issues, we can go on from there without having to do all the background work.
Okay.
But if we have been seeing signs, if we have been like plateauing, they come to me saying, for example, I've tried different things, that's the sign like we definitely need to do the lab tests first in order to have answers. And of course, it's very important for us to have like those background checks before or every year. I do them personally twice a year. How about you?
So lab work, I try to go 3 times a year.
That is even
just to get
better.
a full lab panel, hormones, everything, just to kind of see where everything's sitting at. So then you know how to adjust your diet, like what you need more of, add maybe some supplementation if needed. But I believe that like supplements should be like the last thing you add, right? Like it's like all of it should be food, sleep, nutrition, exercise, hydration, and then after maybe 6 months of feedback, you go back, get your lab work done again, see what kind of adjustments to make.
100%. As we said, it can be an obstacle if we are depleted or if, for example, we don't have hormonal balance. So we got to work on that first, which also helps us figure out what's the focus. Because with some people who have hormonal imbalance, we can't put them on a big calorie deficit.
You can't, or
you can't really put them on calorie deficit because that will be stressful on their body.
Understood.
So the thing is, we might be going around their maintenance a little bit until we solve the root issue.
I like that. I like that a lot. Now let's talk training.
Okay.
A little bit too. Now, there's a lot of misconceptions out there that I think a lot of females that I've heard from, they fear that if they start lifting, they're going to gain too much muscle. Correct. Or they're going to lose their shape, or they're going to lose this, that, and the other. What's your take on resistance training specifically for females? And how often should they be trying to train?
It is super important to have at least 2 days a week of strength training because that's going to help us build our muscle mass. Yes. And it's very important for us females, whether we are looking to basically have energy throughout the day, whether we want to build strength really to, if like there's a mom, there's a lot of duties to have.
Yes.
And overall, like we want to build these things before our 40s. It's not that it's too late at our 40s, but we want to take that opportunity and start building muscle from now. So we can have that higher metabolism, so have higher immunity. It's pretty important for us to balance strength training, getting enough steps throughout the day, or some cardio, especially if someone is telling me, hey, I want to recomp. So the balance between strength training and getting their steps in or their cardio is going to be pretty important, because we will be able to target burning from the body fat deposits and also building our muscle mass. The biggest thing is people fear, or mainly females fear, to look bulky. But I wish it's that easy to look bulky. It's not that easy. No. Right?
Yeah, because biomechanically, I guess just hormonally, right? Like men have more testosterone, women have less testosterone, so it's like you're not going
Yep.
to put on muscle as fast,
True.
given all circumstances are the same.
When I have like these models, it kind of like gives them a visual to see what a pound of muscle looks like. And I usually have also a pound of body fat and what it looks like. You can see how this looks leaner or toned. Because usually I hear females telling me, I want to be toned. Men will say shredded, women will say toned.
Yeah.
So when you look at how the muscle look like,
Yes.
it's going to give that definition, whether they call it snatched, toned, or even if they want to look fit and healthy.
For sure.
Right? So if we burn from the body fat deposits and increase the muscle mass by doing some resistance training, strength training, I think that will be the healthiest we'll be at.
Because is it true that like if you don't have much muscle, when you
Yep.
burn body fat, you just look skinny? You don't really look toned.
No, correct. Yeah. You won't see like body definition. And that is what I like to educate on. If they want to build confidence and at the same time strength, it is important. And let's not forget to keep that metabolism kicking.
So is it true that the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn at rest?
Correct.
Okay.
And if you want to see some numbers, you can always see it through like DEXA scan, the in-body scans. It will show as you gain muscle that you're going to be burning more at rest. And people notice they have more energy when they have higher muscle. I'm assuming they have strength trained. They have got enough of healthy carbs and proteins in order to bring up their muscles, and they end up with higher energy overall.
And also lower body fat, correct? Like, does lower body
course.
fat equal usually higher energy levels as long as it's within a healthy range?
Correct, yes. One of the biggest thing is when people like do these body scans, DEXA scans, and they see their body fat percentage, they're like, oh, it went up. What could it be? It could be one of three things. Number one, yes, the body fat deposit. But number two is going to be our protein intake and our hydration.
I see.
Because if you don't hydrate enough, you will lose some of your muscle mass. It will show in numbers. And the body fat percentage as a trend will go up. Or if you didn't eat enough, your muscles also will show a trend that it's going down. The percentage of fat goes up. So it basically aligns. If we increase our muscle mass and we are on a slight calorie deficit, we'll be able to put on muscle and burn body fat.
Wow. And how often do you recommend somebody do a DEXA scan or an in-body? Because I know some people who do them too frequently to where it kind of psychs them out. I
see what you're saying. It depends on their goal with you.
Okay.
So if someone is cutting down and they want to see how it's working for them, if this meal plan is working, I would do it like every 2 weeks at the beginning until we can tell this is working in our direction. We can keep going from there.
Yes.
As in for people who want to maintain, you don't need to do it for more than once a month, honestly. I've seen also, it was an article, it was talking about people who lost more than 50 pounds, I believe, and maintained it for more than 5 years. It was pretty interesting. It was saying that people who maintained that body fat loss were like weighing in just to check if they're maintaining once a month. It's not obsessing, but it's just seeing where we're at.
So initially, once every other week would be best for example, if for
wanna
you to
cut
work
down.
with somebody so that you can see that feedback right away.
100%, yeah.
Okay.
As in for building muscle, we know like that process does take time. So we gotta be more patient.
Yes. Which a lot of people do lack some patience. Not naming names.
Yeah.
Jordan. No, I'm just kidding. And so, Dareen, like while we were on break, obviously we were talking about some other subjects we wanted to kind of bring up on here. One of which was, snacking. Is it healthy? Is it not healthy? Is it hard to track? I mean, what are some healthy snacks that people can kind of get away with? And then I guess like what snacks should people stay away from?
Oh, that's a good question, honestly. Snacks, I believe, are very important to meet the needs that you don't get, from the main meals, right?
Yes.
Or if you're on the go. So there is healthy snacks that is needed. But at the same time, the well-known snacks like sugary snacks, high-fat snack, these that don't really have much benefit for you if you keep doing them on the long term, that's what we try to kind of not bring home, I would say. And that's the biggest habit I've built like at our home, me and Hazem, because he liked snacking, but it wasn't the healthy snacks. It wasn't the snacks that will get you some energy, get you through the day until your next meal. No, it was the kind of snacks like I'm craving something and it's sitting there. So you want to go for it. We're talking about candy, we're talking about chocolates, we're talking about chips.
I love chips.
Mainly, I believe people who like to have chips is because they're looking for that crunch or something salty. You sweat a lot, probably,
I love chips.
right?
Yeah.
And if you do get that naturally from like putting some potatoes or maybe carrots in the air fryer and dip it with like your own homemade ranch made of maybe fat-free yogurt.
Okay.
You can.
Yeah, because I want to clarify, like, what would constitute as a healthy snack? You know, like
That's a good question.
What
Yeah,
would
yeah.
constitute as a healthy snack?
Okay, the number one thing is it to be from natural food,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So I would aim for natural food if I'm looking for a snack, something that's not processed. And number two, something that your body needs. So if you're not getting enough of that from food, we can supplement it through snacks.
Okay.
So we did mention, for example, if you want that crunch, you can get it from making your own like potatoes in the air fryer instead of having chips, let's say,
Yes.
right? And if you're craving something sweet, for example, you can make your own homemade dessert. To make
Okay.
it healthier, you can basically like dress it with some protein.
Okay.
Maybe your own Greek yogurt topping on it.
Yes.
Maybe you can make your own parfait instead of getting the high sugar ones that already are pre-made in a lot of places nowadays, right?
Yes.
If you put that yogurt with some fruit and clean granola, I think that is ideal to have as a snack. You'll get protein, you'll get healthy carbs and healthy fats at the same time.
Understood. So I'll just kind of like put my personal experience out there as far as like I was not losing weight. Okay. I wanted to
Yes.
lose 5 pounds. And my snack on a daily basis was 2 grass-fed beef sticks, an ounce of nuts, and half a bar of dark chocolate. And I added up the calories and I realized this is 600 calories. This is not a snack. This is now
At
a
this point,
meal.
yeah.
This is a meal at this point. So I think, do you recommend that people track their snack calories?
That's a good realization. If like that big percentage is coming from snacking and not main meals, yeah. And most of the time, like you're gonna go through a roller coaster throughout the day, right? You eat that snack, it gets you fast energy, and then you need something else. So focusing on main meals really is important to keep you satiated from one meal to another, and having that one snack in between will help you to get through the next meal, but it's not the base, I would say. The base comes from the main meals.
Understood.
I would rather like you getting most of your nutrients from main meals and not focused on the snacks. We want to prioritize eating enough throughout the day. So, for example, people who have like a long day shift, some of them cannot like include snacks. I've seen a lot of like healthcare girlies, they tell me like, I'd rather just have like main meals. How can I get my body needs from protein, carbs, and fats, and fiber, of course? And I'm like, okay, let's, for example, break it down to 3 meals. But if someone tells me, I like to have snacks, I'm pretty active, that's when it becomes essential to basically include that snack in.
Or could you replace the snack with another, like a 4th meal, if it fit for their schedule?
Of course, yeah. It can work, especially with people who are playing sports, people who are trying to build more muscle and they need more calories in general. Like we said, they would need longer hour window and probably splitting those meals into 4s and sometimes 5. Yeah.
So that was my next question. So for high performance athletes,
Yes.
would you recommend 4 to 5 small meals per day? Is maybe even up to 6 for some people who are like very large, who have different goals? And how many hours in between each meal should they give their bodies time to digest?
Enough.
Yeah.
That is a really good question. Like I can give you, for example, the calories and protein, and there's no one way to do things, I believe.
Yes.
So we can split it depending on how their schedule is like. But I would definitely prefer like giving their body enough every 2 to 3 hours, ideally 3 hours, in order to digest that and absorb what their body needs, and then take their next meal.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. And that brings us into our next subject of discussion, high rocks.
Yes.
Because it's something that you compete in and you've now done
Correct.
2, had extremely great success with it. And obviously you work with Nadine and all the other great trainers over at All
Great
Inspired.
community.
Great community.
Great
And
community.
so walk us through that journey, that experience, and what you've learned
Yeah.
from not only like you literally practice what you preach. And that's one of the things I admire about you is that you're not only giving advice to athletes and lifestyle individuals on how to eat, but you're living that lifestyle as well, testing it on yourself and applying it for your clients. So how's that been?
It's a great experience. When I decided that I want to do high rocks, it was because I needed something exciting. I needed a goal. I needed a sport.
Yes.
You know? And one of my friends invited me to go work out with them at All Inspired. So I went, tried it out, and I was like, I love this.
Yeah.
Like, they're pushing you. There is a reason why you're training and you're pushing yourself. So you do have a goal. And number 3, there's a community.
Yes.
With like-minded people who want to grow. I absolutely love that. And I went for my first high rocks last year in March. It was a good experience and I learned a lot from it. I learned that, yes, I do need to plan out my my day, my week, my month, right? Pretty properly. And I learned a little bit more about sports nutrition specifically for like hybrid athletes.
Okay.
That experience really helped me first, and then when I had the trust of my friends to help them out, they also told their friends, and that's how I started getting some hybrid athletes lately to help out with the nutrition for performance.
That's awesome.
And it's important for them to plan ahead of time and not suddenly decide, look, I want to cut and I want to do high rocks in a month.
So that was something we had talked about earlier, right? Is like, there's this narrative about dirty bulking and it's awful, right? And like, I think a lot of kids, especially a lot of kids that Jordan and I work with, they see these Instagram videos about these guys eating ice cream and putting on all this excess body fat. I'm sure you've dealt with it with high rocks competitors as far as like they're wanting to cut down in like 2 months for a competition. And it's like, you don't want to give your body that excess fat. And I mean, like, so what are your thoughts on dirty bulking? Should you maintain relatively clean, healthy diet throughout the whole entire year?
I believe when you go for something like dirty bulking, you are eating more fast, you're eating more processed food. It's going to affect your energy throughout the day. Even your motivation to show up for your workout, show up for yourself in different places in your life, right? Your motivation. Yes. So that's the biggest thing. It's going to affect you in different areas in your life. And it's pretty important for you to eat whole foods in order to be able to do the daily lives without any issues.
Yes.
Such as showing up to work, showing up to school, waking up pretty well, having energy without depending on caffeine. So I tend to see like when people eat more into like eating fast foods, they crash and then they need the next thing. Could be caffeine, could be another fast meal, could be sugar. However, when you get your tasting buds used to eating whole foods, your body will start asking for more whole foods. And I notice, especially in young people, they have to experience it first. Like you can tell them as much as you want, hey, you need this and that. You need to eat healthy food. You need to eat your fiber, your protein.
Yes.
But truly, when they experience it and see it for themselves, see how they feel, that is when they will commit to it.
100%.
So you can challenge them for 1 week. I just want you to try it. You know,
yes.
See how you feel. So see how you're going to show up. See how you're going to speed up.
100%. And for hybrid athletes specifically, what have you noticed is the best types of foods to eat for performance in hybrid training? But also, how far out in advance should you eat prior to that style of training? Because you're putting your body through much more, right? And like, I'd imagine you'd want at least a couple hours before you start training to eat, right?
100%, yeah. So basically we want to think of especially the last month. I think it's important to eat enough for performance, right? So I wouldn't recommend starting a cut the last month. You got like,
it's
you know,
late.
you got like basically 3 weeks to cut. And then the last week is where we temper things.
Sure.
So we can like build up the glycogen and recover. So there isn't enough time really to see that much results. That's why I recommend ahead of time, like, hey, if you were looking first to build some strength and muscle, want to be like above your maintenance, around your maintenance, and then start a cut a couple months ahead, I think that would be pretty great. And one of my clients, he started his cut in the new year, or even like he started building the habits of eating less sugar, processed food in the holidays, which is such a great habit, right?
Yeah.
So when he got into the new year, he didn't have to reset all his life. He started his cut in January and he was able to cut more than 10 pounds of body fat, which got him down to 10% body fat, basically.
Wow.
And by the month where we were like getting ready for High Rocks, 3 weeks ahead, he was around his maintenance.
And he did that in how long?
You mean High Rocks or like
The body fat drop. How long did that take?
So it was in 3 months, and he's a pretty lean person. So
he dropped like 10%. So he was below 20% already?
No, we got to 10%. Before that, I believe we were probably around that 18% body fat, which is pretty solid, really.
Anything below 20, I think, for a guy is ideal.
Because it's in the healthy range. 10 to 20 is in the healthy range. And if you want to be like more on the athletic side, that's where you'll see between like 8 or 7 to 12% body fat.
I think that's the ultimate window for guys. As far as like, if you're wanting to look good, like really lean, but also perform well with strength and endurance,
True.
I think 8 to 12 is like a really good window to be in.
Because hybrid athletes, they want to be faster, they want to speed up, but they still want the strength when they're doing the stations. They want to build up their endurance. So both keeping their muscle up and staying lean when it comes to body fat is both important. So what do I recommend for them to eat? Mm-hmm. As I mentioned, when it comes to how much calories, I would put them around like their maintenance, or if they want to build muscle, like months ahead. And then we can, if they want to cut, that would be at least 2 months before, not the last month, please.
Give you at least 8 weeks to work with, 8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah, because I know a lot of hybrid athletes, they want to look good when they go compete.
They want to rip the shirt off.
Videos. Yeah, but performance is our number one goal.
Yeah.
That's important to remember. And one good thing about training hybrid is like you're able to both build muscle and burn body fat. That's what I saw when I started training hybrid. It was amazing, especially from someone who never played sports before.
Yeah.
I saw that pretty amazing.
Is it because you're just burning so many calories during your workouts that like that itself is putting you in a deficit?
Yeah, and it gives you a reason to push yourself for cardio, to be honest, right? Yeah. It gives you a reason to push yourself. At the same time, I was able to eat more, right? I was able to eat more and still be able to burn body fat. I was amazed by that. Like, there was a point last year where I was on a calorie deficit and I couldn't perform well when I was on a big calorie deficit training hybrid with Nadine and the team.
Yes. I'm
like, okay, I need to work on my nutrition. So I bumped it up around my maintenance and I lost a couple of pounds that month and put on muscle. And I'm like, I'm not even trying to be intentionally like, recomping right now.
Right.
I was amazed by that result.
That's so awesome. And is it true that like the less body fat you have as a hybrid athlete, the more efficient your heart would work, ideally?
Correct. Yeah, 100%. And that, again, is because of the lifestyle you build for yourself, the kind of food that you're eating. What you are what you eat for real. So the quality of food that you're eating is going to affect your performance, your body functions. That's something important to know. Instead of your body working on all these processed foods, or, for example, alcohol, your body will be basically efficiently breaking food down when you're focused on eating from whole foods compared to just fast food for convenience, for example.
Yes. And one of my bodybuilding idols, his name's Lee Haney. He was relevant in the 80s, but very knowledgeable when it comes to nutrition as well. And he goes, if you want to train like a horse, you got to eat like a horse. But what he meant by that was like you got to eat good, clean foods and a pretty good amount of them if you want to perform at a high level. And that's applicable, I'm sure, to High Rocks and any kind of hybrid athlete or martial artist who typically burns a lot of calories during exercise, anywhere from 500 to 2,000 calories in a class, right? Like you burn like 500 calories a day. I burned like 800, and it was like, wow, I was hungry, pretty hungry after.
No, that's true. That's why it's important to fuel properly before and after your workout. Yes. When I go train hybrid, I honestly do eat simple carbs before, and then I do have a whole meal after, because it's important for me to keep going.
Yes. What does your pre-workout meal look like before High Rocks training, and how long before High Rocks training do you eat it?
Oh, like Do you mean for high rocks or for my training?
For just hybrid training in general, I mean,
For
like,
hybrid training.
what's your go-to pre-workout meal?
I honestly do like to have like something like a banana. I like to have honey or like some of the gels sometimes when I'm on the go.
Yes.
But if I do get the chance to eat like an hour before, I really like to have an oatmeal.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you put protein powder in your oatmeal or is it plain?
Yeah, I do put protein powder in it, and regular milk, so you will have enough protein to carbs where I can break it down before my workout, so it's not just sitting there.
And you
So-
eat it 2 hours before you work out?
Around that. It's
Okay.
gonna be around like 20 to 30 grams of protein with around 40 grams of carbs.
Yes.
So that's pretty solid to give you some energy throughout your training.
Understood. And is there a difference between like hot oatmeal versus overnight oats? What do you prefer? And, you know, is there a difference?
You're saying overnight compared to?
Yeah, compared to like heating them up in the morning.
Depends on your preference, really.
Okay.
How do you like it?
I do overnight oats. I
Okay.
do kefir
Yeah.
in protein powder, and I put it in my protein oats overnight, and they're like old-fashioned
Tastes like
oats.
a pudding.
Tastes like a pudding.
Tastes like
and
a
then
pudding.
I'll drizzle, I'll put blueberries on it in the morning and drizzle honey over it, and that's like one of my favorite
Yeah.
pre-workout meals if I have time.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I feel more full like eating it cold compared to having like oatmeal.
Really?
Do you agree?
I do. I mean, I honestly don't really eat hot oats.
Yeah.
I never really eat hot oatmeal. Mainly because it takes so long for it to cool down, and I train in the morning. I train at
Yeah.
7 a.m. I don't have enough time for it to wait on it to cool down. I'll burn my tongue pretty quick.
My oatmeal like would have oats. We said protein powder, milk. It would have cinnamon, nuts, a little bit of dark chocolate.
The dark chocolate's like good for your heart. I mean, like with
Yeah.
moderation, it can be very, very healthy for you.
It kind of encourages me also to like have that meal, and the balance of having some cinnamon to prevent sugar spike is pretty perfect in that, and the protein.
Yes. My favorite pre-workout meal as of late, though, in the morning has been eggs, egg whites, sourdough bread, and butter. So I want to get your take on A, is that a good pre-workout meal?
Yeah.
And B, what's your take on sourdough bread? Because I know that's like kind of trending right now.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people are making it at home, and fortunately, my wife makes it at home from time to time, so she
Ooh.
spoils me a little bit.
I need to learn. from
Yeah,
her.
she
I
makes a
need to
great
learn from
jalapeno
her.
cheese. We got to get you a.
It's solid
loaf
if
of
you
that.
guys are getting your sources like from home.
Yes.
Compared to like a lot of people when they want to have sourdough, some of them don't even like read the nutrition label. Some of them actually do have a lot of ingredients, some of them that we can't pronounce. So I was shocked when I saw that, to be
Yes.
honest with you. So if you can make it from home, if it's minimal ingredients, pretty solid. Your first question was that a good pre-workout meal?
Yes.
How many hours ahead do you usually have it?
Not long. It's probably 30 minutes before. 40,
How many eggs is
probably
in
40
it?
So it's 3 whole eggs,
Yes.
4 egg whites, 2 slices of sourdough bread with butter on each of them.
Yeah.
And then I drink like powdered greens in the morning with some multivitamins and stuff like that.
How do you feel when you're training after having...
So initially when I get to the gym, I feel sluggish. But then as I get going, like I'd say
As
20...
the more you move?
The more I
That
move,
makes
20 minutes into my workout, I hit like, people are like, dude, like you feel like you're getting stronger as the workout goes on. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, my energy levels are increasing as the workout goes on.
I honestly believe it needs more than 30 minutes to
More than
digest,
30.
right? Because you have eggs in it and you have butter and avocado. All
Correct.
those together will need more time to process. Proteins typically like need around that 4 hours to break down, right? So
Yeah.
just to help you with better digestion, like that's something better to do at least an hour before.
Understood.
An hour and a half.
So I guess like for all those people listening who they have to work out first thing in the morning, like
Yeah.
say those athletes or those moms or
Yeah.
dads who have busy life schedules, that they're in the gym at 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and they're waking up at like 5. What should they be? What's a good? I mean, like, do you recommend like just fruit and honey as like a pre-workout meal, or like a granola bar? I mean, is that like a good simple breakfast that they could?
It depends really if they do need that extra source of energy for their workout, right? If they're lifting, I believe it's going to be important to have a pre-workout meal. But
Okay.
some people tell me like I do pretty well fasted in the morning. Okay, pretty solid. But if it's an athlete, I do recommend eating before. If it's someone who needs that energy through the workout and they feel they've been sluggish at the workout, or like they need that extra push, yes, get your fuel. Eat a meal before, at least an hour before. But if it's going to be a snack, as we mentioned, like for convenience, banana can be great, right? We said also granola bar can be good as long as it's like real ingredients in it.
So generally speaking, like, are protein shakes okay with that fruit first thing in the morning? Like, if that's going to be your first meal of the day, or would that upset your gut? Does it depend on the individual?
It depends on the individual. I've seen before athletes who tell me they like to have it in the morning, and that worked for them pretty solid. But having your protein post-workout is going to be pretty ideal to recover.
Right.
So that, answers it. Depends on the individual.
Okay. And I also want to get into supplementation. Okay.
Yeah.
When and where is supplementation important in one's diet? And if somebody is like relatively new to the supplement world, what are some just basic fundamental needs that they can, start with?
Also depends on the individual and what kind of life they're running, right? We got athletes, we got people who want to make sure they're getting enough micronutrients. So depends on that. So if we're looking for performance, for example, around the people that I work with, one of the basics is going to be getting their electrolytes with their water, because we sweat a lot,
100%.
right? We need that balance between water to sodium to keep like a healthy water weight. And that's going to be my number one, electrolytes.
Okay.
That also helps with muscle contraction. So if anyone feels like it needs to be improved, double check if you're hydrating enough, if you're getting enough electrolytes too. And I prefer like having it from the packets that are minimal ingredients compared to having the drinks or the sports drinks, to be honest. Because nowadays they have a lot of ingredients that are not good on the long term.
And dyes and things like that.
Dyes,
right?
exactly. It wasn't the same thing we had in the past. If you have seen the photos comparing how sports drinks used to be versus now,
Yes.
I would go with the packets over going with the drinks.
Understood.
So that's for electrolytes.
Okay.
For performance, a second one would be creatine,
Yes.
to help with water and nutrients absorption in the muscle. That really helps a lot of athletes with performance.
Okay.
So these are the main two, I would say, like the basics
Yes.
for athletes. And then when we're talking overall, of course, getting enough of your multivitamins. We were talking about that earlier.
Multivitamins and minerals, so yeah.
100%. And again, we won't just generally take multivitamin. We need to make sure like, hey, are we actually deficient in something specific? We need more doses off. And that's when you have to do your lab tests and see what you're deficient in.
Do you think that people who intake supplements that they don't necessarily need gives you brain fog, and like maybe too much of that can be detrimental?
Sometimes too much of something, it can give like a opposite effect. So
For
it's
sure.
important if you are taking specific supplements to make sure that you actually do need it. And I'm not talking about multivitamin, but specific vitamins that you're taking in bigger doses than what you need, right?
Understood. How about vitamin like ADK or like fish oils, omegas, things like that? I mean, do you recommend those in the mix as well?
Definitely.
Okay.
I would say omega-3 is next, and collagen.
Okay.
For the health of joints and ligaments, that's pretty important.
Absolutely.
Collagen at the end of our 20s, that's when your body kind of stops producing enough amounts of it. And that's when people in their 30s be like, oh, I have pain here and there. The truth is we need to get enough collagen, so supplementing it can be beneficial for everybody.
Understood. And I mean, as a consolation, it also helps your hair, skin, and nails, right?
Yep.
Like your gut.
It helps your bones. We say joints, ligaments, hair, skin.
Wow.
Yeah, so collagen here is the winner.
Is there any other topics that you feel like that we could cover that could benefit those listeners out there that you like, whether they be fads, whether they be things back and forth that we didn't
Honestly,
cover?
maybe like learning more about structures than what diets are out there, because I believe like if we focus on what structures can we apply into our lives, there's a lot of coaches talking about that. It might be not exciting for some people because it's not restrictive.
Yes.
right? I would say invest into learning how to build structure for yourself. Like, let's focus on these kind of topics instead of like, oh, have you seen this new diet, or have you seen this new supplement, or have you seen, for example, this new thing that gets you results pretty quick?
Yes.
Because we know something quick will not be sustainable.
100%. So set your foundation straight with 7 to 9 hours of sleep, gallon of fluids a day,
Yep.
electrolytes, 3 to 5 nutrient-dense meals per day. With
Literally going back to the basics, like you said, sleep is pretty important to keep also the hormonal balance. It can affect your performance, your energy, your health overall, your hunger hormones.
Do you think that some people can optimally sleep like less hours and still perform at a high level? Or do you think that it's like across the board, it needs to be 7 to 9 hours in general?
I have seen people who adapted on sleeping like probably 5 to 6 hours, and I'm like amazed how they can do it. Because for me personally, if I get less than 8 hours, I feel like I haven't got my full cycle of deep sleep.
Understood.
So I do believe the cycles of sleep will be different from one person to another to fully finish one, but it should be at least 6 to 8 hours, right?
Yes.
How many hours of sleep do you feel like you need?
7.5.
7.5. Oh, specific.
That's like 7.5, and it's
Yeah.
like I am running strong that day. I don't sometimes have enough time to get 8.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, I would. But I definitely need more than 6.5. Like I feel
Okay.
7.5 is like pretty optimal for my work schedule right now.
Yeah, honestly, I feel amazed when people tell me they sleep less than 6 hours, because like,
My mom's one of them. She goes to bed late and wakes
Yeah?
up early, and I'm like, and she drinks maybe like 1 coffee a day. I'm like,
to be honest, I've seen also like a chart that was telling you the amount of hours you need based on ages. And I do agree that, for example, with babies, you see them sleeping most of the time. So they need more hours. And as
Right.
we grow older, we might need less and less hours of sleep. But that does not mean it's okay for us to be short on sleep, because it will affect overall our mood. It will affect our hormones, our health overall.
yes. And now they're starting to figure out like the cognitive function long term of not getting enough sleep. With Alzheimer's, with all these other things, it's like
I love that these are the kind of things people are also discussing nowadays, because it's going to be important for us to get enough rest and recovery. If you're working out hard, you got to also rest hard.
100%. And is there a suggested amount of rest days for athletes to take per week? Because I know some guys, like
Yeah.
some gals and girls, they like to train 6-7 days a week hard.
Right.
But in reality, what would be optimal?
That's a good question. I would say it depends on the season, because I can't tell an athlete who's about to compete or go
Right.
to force 2 days of rest days, but at least give yourself 1 day of a rest day. And let's say if you're around the competition, to use the tools for recovery, such as getting contrast therapy, having
Yeah.
a sauna and cold plunge. If you don't have enough time to recover, at least use the tools that are helpful for you to get that.
Understood. Yeah, my rule of thumb is 1 full rest day per week where you're stretching,
Solid.
doing yoga, whatever, and then 1 active rest day where it's like, for me, it's like either martial arts or just doing cardio and stretch
Ooh, and that's
instead of
Yeah.
lifting
Yeah.
like 5 days of hard resistance training a week.
True.
It's
It's
like my
important to
go-to.
get, as you said, some stretching so you can get that blood flow.
Yes, you have to
Yeah.
have that. And so, Dareen, just to revisit the topic we discussed earlier, your 3 top proteins,
Yes.
your 3 top carbs, your 3 top fats, and the 3 top fibers
Fiber.
that you would recommend.
I hope people don't consider me biased, but I'm gonna say, like, personally for me, what is my top 3? I would go with chicken, turkey, and beef, but protein from yogurt is still pretty amazing, from eggs is pretty important, but these are like my top 3.
Yes.
And let's not forget salmon or seafood.
Bingo.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe also I would say shrimp. I do like to eat more shrimp.
What is it with shrimp? Is it
What is it? You can get like good amount of protein in small amounts, which is really fascinating. So
Yes.
sometimes I get to make like my own shrimp tacos. It's pretty fun to eat too. So
I
shrimp.
do love salmon and shrimp, and then I also throw cod in there, but I don't know if cod is as nutrient dense as those other ones. As far as like, it's just like a lean protein. I feel like it's like the
Yeah.
chicken of fish. I don't know. That's what I kind of correlate it to, because I feel like chicken is not super nutrient dense. It's just high in protein and it's lean.
And it's lean.
Right.
You're right, 100%. Yeah. So we're talking about micronutrients now. Yeah. So combining macro and micro will be pretty great.
Yes.
I believe also when it comes to seafood, like having it a couple of times is great, but certain seafood, if you have it more, that can be kind of harmful because of the hard material that can be in it, the hard metals,
stuff like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's just to stay in the safe side. That's why I said chicken, turkey.
Right. Yeah, I probably sniffed too much paint chips growing up, so yeah. so 3 top carbs.
Potatoes. No, but seriously, I like to have red potatoes and sweet potatoes. So that is my number 1 carb, I would say.
Okay.
For number 2, this goes into fiber too, but I wanted to include starchy vegetables. Like
yes.
you can have carrots, and overall vegetables also will go into my top 3 carbs.
Fair.
And number 3, and it's very important for athletes to get enough of, is rice. So jasmine and basmati rice.
Yes. And preferably before workout, after workout?
If we're talking about like jasmine and basmati rice, they're great for, let's say, a lunch, or as you have said, like before a workout in a couple of hours. Mm-hmm. If we're talking about something maybe later in the day to get more fiber, brown rice is also ideal.
Okay. 3 top fats.
Extra virgin olive oil. I'm Middle Eastern, but I don't want to be biased. It truly is one of the top fats.
Yes.
And then we said avocado to get also the micronutrients. It's pretty satiating as well.
Yes.
Number 3, if you'd like to share with me, what is your number 3?
Egg yolk, 100%.
Egg yolk.
100%.
Micronutrients.
Yeah.
We're talking about micronutrients again. So fat is a macronutrient and it has good amounts of micronutrients, making it pretty rich.
Yes. The oranger the yolk, the richer the nutrients. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not, but
100%.
I heard it on Bro Science. I don't know. And then your 3 top fibers.
Ooh, we're going back into vegetables now. So leafy greens is going to be on the top of my list.
Okay.
One of the things that's going to be a combination between healthy fats and fiber is going to be chia seeds.
Wow. Which you intake every day.
I do like to have chia seeds in the morning with my water. I put a little bit of lemon because that gives me enough, or not enough, some fiber with healthy fats.
Understood.
It helps me a lot with digestion too.
Okay.
And my skin,
Bingo.
which I'm working on. Overall, yes.
That's awesome.
The third would be fruits. I'm not going to specify a specific fruit, but a lot of fruits has antioxidants, and it's going to be pretty important whether for performance or for overall health. It's rich in micronutrients, and I would prefer having it as a whole compared to having it in a juice where you're not going to get fiber from it, right? And it's going to spike the blood sugar. So yeah, whole fruit over juice. That's the third fiber source.
And then the last thing, of course, is we have another visual object that you brought on. So we have the muscle fiber that you brought earlier, but now we have the fat.
Yeah, and as I said, I like to show this visual for anyone who would tell me like they're fearful of getting bulky, and I'm like, this is 1 pound of muscle compared to 1 pound of fat. Yeah.
Pretty significant.
So you can envision basically like when we're losing a pound of fat and we're doing some strength training, you get to be more toned, or like men say, more shredded.
Yes, and that's shape and that's tone. The fat is not.
Yeah. And a lot of people are like, okay, so how can I, like, for example, lose body fat without losing the shape?
Right, and I think like to that point is like a lot of females, they of course want to build the glutes, right? And the hammies and all that. So it's like they need more muscle in those areas rather than body fat, correct?
A lot of benefits when we maintain and build some muscle. It's going to be the metabolism, it's going to be the immunity, the energy, your strength.
And just the overall like protection of your bones.
100%, yeah.
Because I feel like muscular people in general don't break bones as easily as non-muscular people.
True. If someone is telling me like, you know, they have some issues with their knees, it's important to strengthen also the muscles around your knees, for example, right?
Yes.
Because a lot of people also focus on like, yeah, I need to lose body fat, correct, but you also need supportive muscles.
100%. Dareen, I can't thank you enough for being on today. I learned a ton.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sure our guests did as well. And we're going to do this again.
Yeah, and they can drop any questions they have.
Please, yeah, and we'll be sure. And where can people find you on social media? Like, are you on Instagram or on TikTok?
Yeah, I am on Instagram, active right now, and I have my page Talk Fit to me or with me. I forgot.
Talk Fit with me? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that that's on TikTok?
That's on Instagram.
It's on Instagram. When did you start that? I haven't even seen that.
I actually started it a couple months ago. That's when I wanted to focus on like sharing more with people, because I'm like, okay, I'm helping my clients, I'm helping my friends, but I want to increase that circle and also help people understand there's a lot of misconceptions that we, you know, need to talk more about. But also my main focus on that is to support the community. If there's any events going on, nutritionally or fitness event, I do share about that on the page.
Well, Dareen, we love what you do for people and for others, and we can't thank you enough for being on. We'll be sure to tag you on every single outlet you got, and
thank you
so
so much,
keep
Mitch
doing
and
your
Jordan.
amazing work.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
5, 4, 3,